Basically the M15 revolution in Madrid that started in April, and I was there for that, and I was one of the people who put together the media center there and actually launched the Spanish Revolution TV channel, known as Spanish Revolution, so on live stream. And it was used as a tactical weapon for the movement to short-circuit the spin by corporate media. Because we were putting out a real-time narrative that we actually brought together a collective of more and more talented people to work on together in frame, it became harder and harder for the mainstream press, or people who did not like us, to lie about us. It made it much harder for them to supply us. And we've been trying to do this for years and years and years, for 10 years. And we could never do it. I mean, the closest we got was probably in G20 in 2009. We actually did paint the convention. What? Keep talking. Where was I? Sorry.
G20.
All right, so to make a long story short, this time we redefined the game finally because we did two things. We didn't allow them to really lie about us all that much because there's a constant narrative that tells the opposite of whatever lies they make. So you have the instantly verifiable fact check on Fox News. That's just there. That exists in the pre-recorded video that was shot from the same moment where so you got people watching corporate media and calling them out on the lies instantaneously. But beyond that, we created a situation where they can't physically destroy us very easily. By broadcasting in real time and giving all these occupations or whatever actions the ability to broadcast in real time, not just somewhere on the internet, but somewhere on the internet where everyone is watching. We're creating one channel specifically, and the channel is virtual. It just gets spread through Twitter. So if they shut us down, other people start another version of the same thing. It is highly replicatable. But the idea is, if you're occupying the square, and there's 2,000 cops masked on four blocks all around you, and they basically, your scouts are telling you, that's what we have. It's not like there's no such organization, but we're spreading information. So you'll be sitting there, you know that some people overheard, some people among police, they're waiting for nightfall, so there won't be too much light. You have an option right now, instead of just calling your friends and saying, what the fuck we do? To create a scene, a visual scene, where you stream this information that's happening live, and suddenly thousands of people are watching it, and the people on the other side who are thinking of coming in and beating you up.
When I tried to access OccupyWallStreet.org today, I was blocked. And Norton told me the reason I was blocked is that there were scams. And people were putting out right away that there were not scams, that the actions that they were calling scams were in fact happening. I was able to get it in another way.
There's a culture war going on, but those are details. What we're talking about here is the institution of a new platform. By creating basically an anarchist, it's not anarchism like let's break a window anarchist. We're talking about non-hierarchical, self-governing, collective, worldwide, that takes all this information and puts it out. We're basically creating the new Al Jazeera that will be completely democratic. And that's the idea, I think. And a lot of people have this idea we're developing right now. So for the October 15th is the next time where the whole world is going to be doing something together. September 17th was the previous one. The September 17th thing, the Wall Street action, was done in 64 cities around the world. I think there's a lot more cities plugged in for October 15th, which will be probably considered, if it goes through, the beginning of the global revolution. People are going to go and take the squares in a lot of places at the same time. So what we're doing right now is we're teaching all these people all around the world on how to get into our channel. So the channel on October 15th, to some degree, it might be a total mess. But to some degree, it will feature all these feeds coming in from everywhere, and we're going to be trying to figure out, we're setting up chat rooms on IRC, so to figure out how to actually manage it in a non-hierarchical manner. Okay?
How do we access that live stream?
Just go to the web, right? Okay, we actually just got the domain name, globalrevolution.tv, and that image will be on there.
On where?
When you will go to the website, globalrevolution.tv. Global Revolution.
Done what?
TV.
It's up there.
It's not like a different
Everybody knows it's not up to speed.
I didn't have the link memorized, but I just Googled live stream Global Revolution.
It's livestream.com at Global Revolution.
Yeah, /Global Revolution.
It's not at, it's a slash. Yeah, if you just type occupation, Occupy Wall Street, live stream, you got a few choices of where to see it. It's not only on this website either.
What I'm going to say is we're setting up a website. We're setting up a website that will have that stream and all the other streams coming in from all over the world as well. So you guys, limited to one channel, most channel. Yeah. The bottom line is this gives us the power to tell our story by our own people without a spin. It's so hard to lie against it.
This is all wonderful. We congratulate you. But do you think that there needs to be a halt in the production system? I mean, this is all good to spread the word around. Wonderful. This is a wonderful beginning. And we are now hearing the frustration of all people around America.
I don't understand your first sentence.
But
What
do you think that the next step should be a halt? A walk, I mean an effort to halt the system, because that's the only way the capital owners will be really hearing the complaints. This is wonderful. Please don't think that
we're not
I'm talking
organized
critically.
enough for that yet. The consciousness isn't high enough, but it's very interesting that in Madison, after the bill passed, the Central Labor Council of Southeastern Wisconsin passed a resolution that a general strike might be necessary and it would be considered. So there they were mobilized enough for it to be considered. Our labor movements are not at that stage.
Something else to add to that, right?
First me?
Yes.
Well, I was thinking about a whole bunch of things. And I'd like to, I'm really glad you're talking, but I can speak as an observer of the occupation of Wall Street because I haven't been. I can speak as an observer of the occupation. My participation has been limited to actually giving 2 talks there, and it's part of the process of the self-organization that's going on there. I think that an independent subcommittee in a group contacted me, something known as the open forum on the economy.
Yeah, we're going to be having open forums every night at 6 o'clock.
Yes, and it's one of the wonderful kind of self-organizations which is going to emphasize the self-organization. And for those that actually I know our history of Marxism, that's one of the visions that Marx actually had what a revolution was. It's a self-organization of the working class. And that's one of the key elements in what we're talking about, making a revolution, is where you don't rely upon the mass media to tell you what to do. You do it yourself. You don't, because you're going to be lied to, because you are going to be lied to. And I think that's what's remarkable about this space, that it's a limited space geographically of the square which is being occupied. It feels free, and it actually is free. That's the remarkable thing about it. And it's since Brian Lehrer on WNYC, they asked a stupid question last Monday. Well, they're making a whole variety of demands. Isn't that wrong? Aren't they mixing the message? No. The opposite of the case. What's remarkable about it, they're making a plurality of messages, variety of messages, but the fact that they're done to the occupation of Wall Street makes all the difference, because it's a rural political state, and it's about conditions of power. Then you have the police bamboozled, because I didn't know about the 24-hour business. That's key. If you did it in a city park in New York City, they'd be able to kick you out because all city parks closed. But because of this loophole, they have a lose space, and they got lucky. I don't know if you keep whoever spy parks to do that. That was all the time. That was a key.
We found out that, moreover, that there's a law that you can't gather in more than 20 people in a city park.
Well, so there's all these restrictions. And nonetheless, what you see here is, and one of the things that our chief of police complained about, is that you guys not seek a permit to have a march. And I think it's great that the daring of this has people nonplussed. And frankly, I walked up from Wall Street. I saw the stock exchange. I used to work there. I've never seen the stock exchange so wound up and tight in terms of security in my life. And I think it's because they have the powers that be have no idea to make of what's going on there because it doesn't calculate.